I'm seeing that you're seeing life through the lens of source. So you're seeing things very, very clearly. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the energy that I pick up on around your field. And the reason I say around your field is because you're coming into that state of observer. I'm hearing not just coming to, but returning to, seeing through the illusion of separation clearly, and holding space and admiration for the contrast that is happening amongst this terrestrial plane. Now, you're seeing this not through the lens of emotion, because that can lead to a very distorted perception, not through the lens of judgment, which is to separate yourself from, but instead through a lens of recognition, where you're no longer needing to judge the things that you see or feeling like you have to step in and try to fix them. Instead, you're simply becoming aware of it, and that changes everything. You're going through a transduction process, a transmutation process, because your archetype that came through is the crow. And in this card, the crow also refers to the magician. And just like every great magician with the world card, you have moved through a cycle in your life, and you're also closing out a cycle and mastering a cycle. And as you enter into this new one, you're moving through with this level of suave, this level of expertise. Something that used to overwhelm you now leaves you feeling like you're in your element of play, in your element of admiring the infinite ways that source expresses itself through many mediums. Now, including mediums or prisms that light or source refracts itself through in ways that may even be distorted. So this could be the distortion in how somebody sees themselves or life upon this planet, and finding beauty within that unique perspective. Now, when we talk about a transduction process, another thing that I saw was transduction is basically where you transform a lower energy state into a higher energy state. And I'm seeing that with your thoughts. I'm kind of hearing the word Jedi, where you've been able to master the observation of your own thoughts, and also the thought process that another individual is moving through. You strike me as somebody who is incredibly in tune, incredibly psychic with everything around you, yet you do not lose yourself through those exchanges. It's like you've entered into a stage of your life where you can be fully you and allow others to be where they are and move through the lessons that they're moving through without merging with it. Now, you have the World card and the Crow, which talks about prolonged embodiment within a human vessel can lead to you, one, falling unconscious in this terrestrial plane, thus repeating the unconscious cause that leads to the effect of one's life. And the funny thing about taking a backseat and just stepping into the realm of the observer, I'm hearing, which is recognizing yourself as the very field that the body moves through. You can admire every human body and the individual field or cause of its life that it's experiencing due to its conscious or unconscious cause. So there's something around that. You could be witnessing karma play out, or you could be witnessing patterns play out that could be in the lives of those around you. Some of you, this is going to be friends, families, companions. I'm hearing co-workers. There's something in which you're holding space for not interrupting the soul's journey. I'm hearing all sources' journey and the way that it chooses to experience these infinite combinations. So the other message that was coming through is that you're entering this deep phase of healing because you're able to change the way that you're thinking about these events. That's changing the way in which you're emotionally relating to those events. And that's also changing the way in which you're experiencing them. Let me go ahead and read the Crow for you with the Magician. So the Crow talks about force of creation. Oh, that was another message that came through for you, right? So force of creation, manifestation, willpower, and skilled. The Crow and the Magician teach us how to turn energy into a force of creation. This is what it is. You are a force of creation. There's something in which you're alchemizing. I'm hearing even in your bloodline, because you're the first one to allow light to refract a different pattern through you. And I'm seeing it as you seeing it through a harmonious lens. It's like you're seeing these patterns and not interrupting them. Therefore, you've become the algorithm or anomaly within your bloodline because you're modeling a different kind of example. Okay, which is really stepping into the realm of unconditional love. We have been taught through societal engineering, and the further that we weave this through this construct down our generational lineage, love has always looked like attachment. Love has always looked like possession or control. But real unconditional love is to step back without interfering, to just neutrally observe and trust that every creator, conscious or unconscious, has the ability to transform their life at any given moment in time. And there's beauty upon that discovery. Okay, and sometimes it requires for us to be backed up against a wall where we have no other option but to discover how powerful we truly are. And there's something that you're learning when it comes to surrendering. So anyway, this talks about, as the crow shimmers in the moon of the magician, we are reminded of the beauty around us and the creative nature of human life. We are born with a desire to create. That desire serves as the opposition to destruction, and it's what sets us apart. Use your skills to manifest your power. Now, with the World card, I'm seeing you step through this cycle. And it's not just like a repetitive cycle, it's like you're reaching a point of another coordinate within the Fibonacci sequence, within the ring, within the spiral, where you'll now see to that level of understanding of, oh, this is very different. This is what true unconditional love is to unconditionally accept every single soul, no matter where they are in their generational. Okay, I'm hearing patterns that are playing out, no matter where they are in their journey, and also hold space for yourself through that process. Now, with the World card, I'll go ahead and read this one for you as well, because this is you not just closing out a cycle, but it's you navigating this world according to the divine essence of source itself being immersed within the medium that it had created in order to experience infinite outcomes, okay, infinite combinations, infinite returns to come back to the self, the desire to remember the self. The world and life on earth talks about completion, success, fulfillment, and harmony. The world and life on earth represents fulfillment and completion. Okay, this is the difference of where you are now versus what it is that you had previously experienced. You're now learning how to anchor peace into your body in the middle of it and not at the end of the cycle. There's something around your learning with the magician how to alchemize, or again, go through a transduction process to bring ultimate truth into a circumstance while being immersed in it, which is super interesting. Okay, so you've made it to the end of whatever you set out to do, and a new cycle is approaching. Before you waltz off onto your next journey, be sure to take a minute to bask in your success. So the success is in whom it is that you've become. The success is in you actually remembering this construct for what it is. And I'm seeing you holding your heart space open, which is also, understanding what it is that you may need most in this moment. You've wanted this for so long, and now it's finally here. Allow yourself to revel in it. So you're not finding your worth in how you relate to other people's path, and you're also no longer adjusting yourself to accommodate another person or soul's patterns that they're moving through, but instead you're anchoring into the present moment that you can be fully you while allowing a soul to fully be themselves with where they are and not merge with it. So there's a level of just energetic hygiene that you've been able to practice with this. And that's the beauty of viewing this from a higher perspective. You can actually see the beauty within contrast. You can see the beauty within the paradox that two truths can be true at one time. And there's a higher perspective that's opening here. I'm just seeing you shift the frameworks in how you're seeing yourself move through this existence, and you have the ability to see that source is playing with itself through different characters, different timelines, different levels of awareness. So if someone is playing out a pattern, you're not here to interrupt that, you're here to witness that. And it doesn't mean that there's a wrong or right way to move through a circumstance. That's not it. It's just that you're simply learning this from a different level of understanding. You're learning this from a different frequency. And I'm hearing some of you, this really hits home. So this could be literally things that are happening within your bloodline, things that are happening within your family. And you are the fractal that has incarnated into that generational lineage that finally gets to pull this one body of consciousness forward, because you are the portal. You are the portal by coming back into the present moment and remembering yourself as an eternal being, temporarily experiencing itself through form. You're modeling a different example of actually what that looks like. And the real question is, can you step back and just appreciate the contrast that's happening in your life without feeling like you have to enmesh yourself with it or entangle yourself within it? Because we also have the 9 of Embers and the 10 of Wands, which is also an Embers card. And the interesting thing, this talks about you reaching the end of a journey and really completing it. So this is a full understanding. This is a full return to self moment. Oh, I'm also hearing return to sender moment. But the thing is, I'm seeing it as you returning love to sender, and a great teacher sends somebody back to themselves. And that's what you're doing. You're trusting and you're putting your trust in another soul to move through exactly what it is that they're choosing to experience. And that's where your discernment replaces that attachment, and you can appreciate that cycle, but it doesn't require for you to directly be within the proximity. So can you see it clearly without feeling like you have to interfere or entangle yourself with it? Let me read for you the 9 and 10 of Embers as well. So the 9 of Embers talks about endurance, maintaining control, resilience, and the last stand. And this is a Moon and Sagittarius card, which is something that you can, in its lower octave, kind of get angry about very quickly, but then you can also calm down as quickly as you got, these heightened emotions from. And it's also a moment that you may have wanted to give up, but this is you actually being able to pick yourself back up. And I'm seeing specifically dusting the third eye. Okay, dusting, no longer looking at this through an emotional lens or an emotional perception that clouds your field, okay, or distorts you from actually seeing yourself in all things and recognizing that everything is you are, and you are everything, and everything is always in harmonic order in this system. Harmonic order is always being sustained through the contrast. But you're also able to honor yourself. There's something around self-honoring yourself and choosing yourself without guilt, choosing what it is that you may want to create, your own perspective to be from the ultimate truth. And that love is ultimately liberation. That love without attachment is ultimately liberation. You do not have to empathize and suffer with or take on the suffering that is not yours. That's like a huge message that's coming through. So now you see it clearly. What will you choose, right? Because the 9 of Embers is literally a volcano erupting. So it's some kind of suppression or repression that's finally coming to the surface. And this also talks about a last stand. So the volcano erupts and a figure hides in the woods engulfed in flowers, trying to avoid getting caught in the disaster. Everything is telling you to give up, but you must maintain control. This card shows up when you've almost reached your goal, but one final push is needed. You're tired, but it's not the time to abandon your course. Endure because you're nearly there. So this is something in which you've moved through where you could have even been reevaluating your path or just feeling like you needed a break. But the Ten of Embers talks about a responsibility, something that also felt like a burden that you're also relieving. And they're giving me the Atlas message, which is, Atlas what's heavier, the weight of the world or the weight of man's heart. And you don't have to carry the suffering or disconnection from the heart space that the soul is moving through, and that's disconnection from your interconnectedness to all things as part of your own. So we are met with a similar scene as the Eight of Wands and Eight of Embers, but here there is a sense of perseverance. The magma raining from the sky has turned into alchemical fire. So this is literally what you're doing. There's something that you're doing that's actually sending ripples and is bringing life to earth in a way that touches it. You've worked hard to get to where it is you are, and that upward climb has also come with new responsibilities. You're capable of greatness. Just make sure that you don't commit to taking on too much. Now, it being reversed can also show where you've previously felt overburdened, and you're now finally passing back something that doesn't belong to you. That's super interesting. Something that doesn't belong to you. And the way that you're passing it back is something that holds no weight at all. It's like you can see suffering from a higher perspective and say, ultimately, that is a choice. And you're relieving yourself from taking too seriously what the gods made for fun. What we made for fun in the system. Okay, super interesting. Now, this definitely reminds you of the temperance energy. There's this level of calmness that you do bring just through your neutral observation, because you also do have temperance at the base. And this is a labyrinth, or someone moving through a situation where they may feel lost, which is a state of mind, but really they're being given an opportunity to find a new way. And there's a new way that's being unveiled to them when you allow them to return back to themselves. So temperance is a type of person that lowers their voice instead of raising it. They remain calm, neutral, and aware. They're able to bring, this flame of truth without shaming an individual or making them feel judged. And so temperance is also a character where people could ask you for advice without having planned to, or they wish to, but you do not attach to if that advice is actually integrated or implemented. That's super interesting. Okay, so let's go and get a advice message for you. Let's get an advice message for you and how to navigate this through the Gateway of the Light Activation deck. Venetian Galactic Council. So you're being called to alchemize this by actually doing something with this energy. And then you have Inner Earth, Base Chakra. So this is something that you're creating. It's where you're taking some kind of creative spark and anchoring that into the physical realm. There could be something that you're wanting to actually focus on. It's almost like Spirit's telling you to have all of your awareness and energy with you and be really intentional with what you're creating right now. It's almost as if you're not necessarily turning a blind eye, but it kind of reminds you of ignorance is a bliss. And there's certain things in which you're not ignoring it, but you're choosing to redirect your focus towards instead. And that's really beautiful. It's like your energy is currency and you're not going to invest it into situations that have no return and are taxing and draining. So why focus on another's journey when you can focus on yourself and play within your own journey? Why take on the suffering? I'm hearing of collective timelines when you can also just honor your own sovereign timeline as well, ultimately aligning you with a higher collective timeline. Okay, that's something super interesting. So this talks about a call to action. You're being asked to step up and create the changes that you want to see in the world. You have a reason for being here and you have the potential to inspire, support, and heal your corner of the world. I'm seeing it as you're not going to lower your frequency to meet people where they are. Instead, you're just vibing high, which is like just being in your own kind of creative bubble with the things that you want to do. And allowing people to kind of see you and begin to actually remember, oh, that's actually a way that I can also move through this existence. And, potentially even meet you there, but you're not attaching to that. You're just in your own time dilation bubble, is the way that I see it. So in doing that, you'll actually support and inspire and heal your corner of the world. Don't let this information scare or overwhelm you, for you're being prepared energetically to step into this role. The ideas that you've been having recently are divine downloads, but you aren't being called to make dramatic changes to your life. Simply move forward step by step. The 𝓤𝓻𝓭𝓪𝓷𝓽 𝓛𝓲𝓷𝓽 will reveal more information to support you. Be aware of downloads of information and spiritual signs, for their confirmation that you're on the right path. So there's something that you're redirecting your focus towards. At least that's what you're being advised to do by the 𝓤𝓻𝓭𝓪𝓷 Council. There's no set way that you can contact them. It says that you can contact them in like meditation or dream space and allow them to come forth and deliver this information to you. By the way, guys, let me know if you want to see a time dimension teaching explaining what spirit guides are, how they manifest in these different archetypal expressions within these chakra systems or dimensional fields, how to actually receive and streamline the information that they bring forth, and how to anchor that into your third dimensional experience. I am very, very interested myself in actually being able to decode it and share it with you guys. So let me know if you want to see that. But that is going to be a very specific archetypal manifestation that actually becomes a conduit for information that is held within those dimensional planes. So I'm seeing it as actually this transduction process where you're lifting your own frequency by elevating your thoughts. I'm hearing elevating your emotional status, which actually translates into a vibrational status, allows you to begin to access information because you're operating within the same wavelength. Because when we're thinking about our life on earth from a lower bandwidth or frequency light, that's like if you think about like a roller coaster, it's one of the lower waveforms, which is a slower oscillation. And on a cellular level, within that organism that's composed up of trillion cells, they're actually vibrating in a very low octave. And when that happens, they'll always find experiences that are in resonance with their soul's journey. And you don't have to go through those highs and lows with them. Instead, there's something around being able to keep yourself within that still neutral line where you can, again, you're not here to become like completely numb. That's not what I'm saying. You're actually here to feel the full range of human emotion, but always come back to your center point so that you're not, I'm hearing you're enjoying the roller coaster while also observing yourself as the one that's like a child and it's like with the roller coaster and is controlling it on the train track at home. I'm kind of seeing that same thing with like being on a plane, but then also seeing yourself from, oh, okay, it's like a child that's like that. I'm so far from base reality. It's like you are also the very field in which you're moving through, if that makes sense. Okay, so we have synchronous rotation. What an interesting card. But then you also have energy at the base, which is a transformation of energy itself. This card is pretty much right on the money for what we spoke about. I'm going to read it and just let it speak for itself, to be honest with you, because this is a very interesting one to come out for the reference point that we have. Synchronous rotation talks about two faces of the moon, right? So we have the conscious and the unconscious. Do you know where the expression, the two faces of the moon, comes from? Not a single day has passed or will ever pass where the moon shows its other face. The gravity of one body slows the orbit of another so that it always has the same face. So just break down that sentence right there. The gravity of one body, okay, the gravity of belief systems or weight or density that an organism is holding actually ends up becoming extremely parasitic if your awareness is not fully within your body. you can experience parasitic timelines where there can be this codependency, okay, where you compromise yourself and you stay within that wavelength. And it's hard to distinguish what's yours and actually what another person's is. But the moment that you bring awareness into your field and consciousness into your field, you can see that while being immersed and actually bring yourself back to your center and say, okay, actually, that's not mine to take on, right? So that's what I'm seeing. Now, it also says we always see the same side of the moon as it rotates at the same speed of the orbit around the Earth. This card warns us about the hidden, the things in which we do not see. The interesting thing here is that it's not about a lack of vision, but about what does not wish to be seen or who does not wish to be shown. And energy is about the transformation of energy. So it's saying, okay, well, actually, maybe a soul is not ready to confront that within themselves. And that is actually okay. That's something that they're choosing. That's the way that they're choosing to experience, even if that's unconsciously, the things in which they're moving through. And you can just hold space for that, but also hold space for yourself in your own creative container, because you're being called to just focus on the things in which you're moving through. And not attached to the thing that another soul may be moving through. Okay. That's your message. I'm just gonna love and leave it there, because I feel like that is the message that we wanted to get out today. 2828 as we close this cycle. So you could be making decisions around your life force and where you'd rather invest that. That's leading to a 1, which reduces a 10, which reduces to a 1. And you're coming back to yourself. You're coming back to your individual fractal soul's expression and transforming your relationship to not just the shadow of yourself, but the shadow of all those around you. And how, if we are unconscious of our own shadow, it guides our life, and we call it fate. It's allowing ourselves to immerse ourselves within the shadow, or allowing a soul to immerse themselves within their own shadow, that they actually discover their eternal light. So I'm going to love and leave you right there. And yes, if you made it to this point, do consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed, because we love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. Also check out Unlisted if you're looking for some high quality AAE graded jewelry. I have kunzite, rhodonite, and rose quartz on today, which is actually a really beautiful pink. That's a mosquito bite, ignore that. Link, and one of the proceeds are actually donated towards also Sanctuary, so definitely take a look at the discount codes that you have in the description box down below. Yeah, if you want to see more messages like this with energetic hygiene, I mean, we have some messages on the Transcending Teachings playlist for the morphic field and just being able to understand what's happening within another individual's field, you know, another expression, extension of yourself, and the unique signatures that it's moving through, its own unique lessons that are designed for that soul expansion, and what that really means and what that entails. You already know. I feel like you already know. If you're here, you've learned how to observe. So, until next time, bye.